Welcome to Fragments, the video podcast where two ex-work colleagues turn friends and now turn business partners, Joanna and Marissa, navigate the wild world of business.
Join us for a real talk, laugh, and the occasional therapy session as we share our experiences, lessons learned, and ups and downs of entrepreneurship.
New episodes, new dramas, but the same old coal-fueled chaos.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, we're having a bit of a reminisce. We're having a bit of a reminisce now, aren't we? We're going to talk about... We talked about Young and the Broke on the previous episode. And one of the reasons that we came up with the idea of Young and Broke was because we know the cost of living with younger people is becoming a really big thing. And, you know, people are living at home with their parents for longer. They're not able to...
Or people feeling that they cannot achieve their goals. You know, like and financially and in other aspects
career
as well.
Or aspiration. Yeah. And we thought, you know what, we will do a episode on what advice would we give our younger selves if we could go back. Now, I've got a few years on you because you keep telling me that I'm the same age as your mum.
Almost, yeah.
I am the same. I've just had my birthday. I'm the same age as your mum.
Yeah.
Stop saying
But
that.
it's because my mum had me when she was 16. So you will calculate now our ages.
We're not going to tell us our ages. You can write in the comments and say how old you think we are, and we could say yes or no.
Guess.
And guess. But we thought, you know what, we'll have a section on, our younger selves. So one of the things I think that we have bonded over is you came to Australia how long ago?
I came 10 years ago, almost the same time as you did.
So I was 12 years.
Yeah.
But you came for very different reasons. But why did you come to Australia?
The reason I came to Australia was to study English in the first place. Mm-hmm. It wasn't something that I need, like English wasn't I wasn't blind about English at all. I used to see subjects in English when I was at uni. But I wanted always to go to an English country. Mm-hmm. And in that time I had a boyfriend and he said to me, let's go to Australia. And he was the person who appeared in my life in that time because I don't know, I haven't spoken with him in a long time, but probably he was the person that brought me here, you know, in some way.
So you plant the seed to go...
Yeah, I was 24 when I came to Australia. So I was like, you know what? I want to explore, I want to study. And if things work out, I will stay. If I don't like it, I just go back home. That's it.
Yeah.
And look where I am now.
Yeah, I mean, we had a similar thing where we tried 3 times to get into Australia, me and my husband as a family. And previous 2 times we'd been unsuccessful. We got our permanent residency visa from the UK. It took a while because the criteria kept changing and stuff, so it took a little bit longer than expected, but we got here. And our attitude was, we'll come here, but even if we don't like it, we would stay for the 4 years and get the citizenship, so we never had to go through, if we did decide to return back to the UK, we wouldn't have to do this visa application or anything like that again, and more so that the children would have the opportunity to choose.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was that was our attitude to it. And I think it's okay. You know, people say quite often to Stephen and I, did you have jobs to come to? And we're like, nope.
and I reckon, because I know your story, we have explored so many sort of jobs that you cannot imagine. And I think I will repeat this story exactly as I lived that. Yeah. Because it was great learnings, like how you can do so many different things and relate to them, and also to learn and get skills from several things that can help you to progress in your career and in your life.
And I think that's probably one of the things I would say as a younger self, and taking into consideration, I will say this, I'm a generation more than you, is that when I was growing up, when you were choosing your career, it was the career for life. That was what you were going to do. Because, you know, back in that, God, I sound ancient. Back
in your days.
Back in my day, it was, you know, people worked for the same company for 25 years, 30 years. That's where they retired. But I think now, you can have in your career or your working life, you can have 2 or 3 different careers. You're not really stuck. And I think that's a good thing for a younger person. For me, I'd go, I wish I'd have known that I had more opportunities at a younger age rather than trying to make a decision on a career that, I was thinking was going to be for life. Because people change, you change, circumstances change. And I think nowadays you can have, I'm in my 50s now and I feel like I'm on my 4th career.
Yeah, I think that's great. Like, to be honest, one of the things that I will say to my younger self will be like, value your time. At the moment I have 3 businesses. I'm trying to do so many things. I wish I would have started earlier.
Oh, okay.
So I will say I will use that time to, like, my time when I was younger to start doing things that I wanted to, I'm doing right now, like running a business, studying more. No, like I did study a lot.
Oh my gosh.
I did a lot. So I had a degree, which I'm not just pushing to that, but I had a degree. I did a master, and then I did another degree. Like, so many things. But I reckon it's more about getting training, all those things that you love the most, or those things that you want to focus on. Like, for example, if it's social media, if it's podcasting, if it's like something in a specific, not like getting into a degree, but getting some education around that, learning by yourself, like doing things that you can use in that time instead of wasting it. I will say that.
Yeah. I mean, I worry about, nowadays, young people have a HECS debt and, they've got to study and, they've got this debt behind them, which is scary. I think my biggest regret, looking back, and it's not actually a regret because I had fun. I'm not going to lie that. But I think I did actually waste a lot of money.
I think I have done as well.
I think, and you sort of put emphasis on things that aren't really important. And it's not, and this is like the Young and the Broker talking about this, because there's definitely a difference between Finn and Izzy on the show. But, just thinking about your purchases or what you're doing with your money, and you're putting importance on something that is not really.
It's not really. Or putting, like, a lot of energy into so many clothes. Sometimes I realize I have so many things. Every time that I want to spend money, I'm like, Joanna, you have enough. You don't need it.
Yeah.
You don't need this.
I think I haven't bought, now this is a big thing for me, I haven't bought a dress. This sounds so sad.
It's not far away, Marisa.
I haven't bought a dress for 6 months. And I used to have this mentality of, I've worn this for an event, I can't wear it again for an event, or people will remember what I wore for that event. That's like completely bullshit. No one's like remembers what your wardrobe was.
And if they remember,
who cares?
Who cares? You
exactly.
know what I mean?
No. And even on the social medias, now it's like, just because you had a photograph taken doesn't mean you can't wear it again. So there must be so much waste on money.
And and learning more about how to invest that money. There is so much opportunities that if I will start it earlier, I will probably have more savings that I have right now. Like, investing it in saving. I have read, like, you can save 70% of your salary. Imagine if you started since you were 20. And I'm not an expert about that. I would love to be, like, I'm getting educated. It's not late to learn about money. But, yeah, I think that's very important, to know how to manage your money, save money, how to invest it in things that will give you return.
Yeah, I think if you look at, this is an admission. I was, and much to my husband's despair, he probably wishes I read it a long time ago. I was 40. No. Yeah, I was 40 when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad as a book. I think I always get his name wrong, like Robert Kiyosaki, I think his name is. And it's like a super easy read. Like, you can read it in like less than an hour and a half. It's like super quick. But I wish I'd have read that book when I was in my 20s, because it would have, You know, I probably would have had more in my super. I probably would have had more money in like investments, or I just think I would have, my money would have worked for me.
That's what I want. We still can do it. But
Yeah.
imagine if you start 20 years old or even earlier.
Yeah, so I think
oh my
that,
God.
but then I am not going to regret how I lived, because I had fun. You know, the
Yeah.
holidays,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
we had fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the end of the day, memories are what you take with you. Which,
Yeah.
God, that's dark.
But you don't need to spend all your money to have good memories, to be honest.
I think that if you've got good people around you.
I think that's important.
Yeah.
Talking about people, one of the learnings I will say that I will tell to my younger self is that there are people that come to your life and goes. In the past, I used to worry so much. Oh my God, I'm not talking to this person anymore. I lose this friendship. But in life, you meet people and they become your friends, and some of them are in your life and stay, and some of them go for a reason. You know, like universe put them into your life. It's an amazing time with those people, and they eventually go, and you have to keep going with your life. And now I can say that. Like, I will say, like, to my younger self, like, don't worry. You know, like, you will meet amazing people through your life, and some of them will stay forever, and some of them won't.
And I think if they're meant to be, they will be.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good, healthy way to look at relationships.
Yeah. And I feel like there are some amazing people that stay in at so much value to your life.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that you have to keep, investing in. And I feel like it's not only about like getting from people, but also giving. It's a one, like, giving and receiving at the same time.
Yeah.
Investing in your friendships as well.
Yeah, definitely investing in your relationships is really key. I mean, I've been doing an exercise I've been doing an online course with a group called She Will, and we've just done an exercise where I think it's a quote by Jim Rowan, I think it is, and I'm completely going to butcher it, but it's something like, you are the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. But what people don't realise is the quote actually continues, and the last bit of the quote is, so choose wisely.
Absolutely.
So I think that's what you need to do, is
I
just...
feel that as well is about energy. Like, you have to be surrounded by people who loves you, and not only tell you good things, but also have the courage to tell you,
Yes.
that's not good, like, give you a feedback, and you have to take it and accept it as well as friend.
But I think it's really important, if someone's giving you feedback and it's coming from the right place, that's the good thing. I think you've got to be really careful that people aren't, like you talked about energy zappers, or just negativity for the sake of being negative. If someone is giving me feedback and I know it's coming from a point of being of caring, or they've got my best interest at heart, that's very different to someone putting you down because they can see that you maybe are moving forward and they're not. And that goes back to, some people are meant to be in your life at a certain time and some people aren't.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, like, in the way that we need to hear from our friends as well, what are the things that they see and perceive that we should improve, instead of hearing, oh yeah, you're amazing, amazing. Like, we need to hear those things that will keep us grounded as well.
Oh yeah, you do that to me. You go, Marissa, stop going on to the next thing. We need to do this thing. And I'm like, oh yeah, my brain. Come on, Marissa. Focus. Sit down. And I don't take offense with that. I know I need to do that. That's one of my traits, is that my brain can work too fast sometimes, and sometimes I I need to pull it back and I need to focus on the now. And you're really good at that.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I would turn around and say, do good people and no regrets.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for surviving another episode of Fragments. If you made it this far, congratulations.
You must be a glutton for punishment or just really love us. We hope it's the latter.
Check out the Wavebreaker podcast network for more great episodes like this one.
And don't forget to subscribe and leave a review.
We will love you forever.
Or at least until the next episode.